Yo, no, we're not gonna do this. I feel you. I respect you, and I'm not disagreeing. But what we're not gonna do is try. If a black man has an opinion of his own, he shouldn't be crucified because it's different from somebody else's.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Dawgs. It's the kid, Manny Pierre, Sunny King's Photography. Check me out on all media outlets. And as usual, I got my dog squad with me.
Yes, sir. It's GK Tutter, aka GK Films. Is actually aka Garrett 2.0, but we not stopping the recording. All right, y'all head over to gkfilms.com. You can find me on social media at GK Films Official. That's GK Films with a Z. You dig?
What's going on? It's Chima. What up?
No doubt, it's your boy Minister Carter, man. Good to see y'all again. What up? It's your boy Curtis. You can find me on all social media platforms at Curtis C. Rogers. My new album, Grace to My Humanist, is out on all digital streaming platforms.
Nice.
All right, and in this episode, we're going to talk about something that's kind of a touchy subject, if you would. All right, we're going to talk about the idea that black men do not protect black women. Let's talk about what that means and if that is actually a true statement or not. So what do you guys think? So do you think that black men really do not? Well, first of all, before we get to that, what does it mean for black men to protect black women? Let's talk about it.
Yo, I think Chima should start this one off. Man.
Why do you think I should start this one?
Man, this was your idea, man.
Come on, he put you in the pool, baby. What you got?
Okay.
Swim, sleep, man.
I mean, well, this question isn't really that touchy. You said, what does it mean to protect a black woman?
Yes.
It means to make sure that no harm comes to them.
Okay.
In a physical standpoint?
In all sense.
Okay.
That's protecting their emotions. That's protecting them physically from danger, from themselves even.
So to generalize it, would y'all agree that protecting their well-being covers everything?
Okay.
Yeah. Their overall well-being. That's not the hard part.
Nice. So what's the hard part, Chima?
Is whether or not black men do that.
Nice. So what do you think? Do you think that black men protect black women?
Yes, I think that black people in healthy situations protect each other. And I think that social media oftentimes tries to determine the narrative of the reality. And that's not the case. Black people in my inner circle, the black women in my inner circle are protected by their black men all the time. And oftentimes, a lot of black women that complain about it, not all, they don't grow up, they don't have a point of reference to see what it's like to be protected. So in their worldview, that is what is true. So I'm not going to say that their experience is a lie, but I'm just saying that when we hear these things, it's normally from social media and stuff like that. And we don't account for the other relationships out there that don't speak on social media. Black families who are living happy, they're not posting everything all the time and they're not having any issues.
Okay, so with that being said, so where do you think the idea that black men do not protect black women come from then?
Well, there's a level of truth to it because sometimes black men are trash in some cases.
Agreed.
Okay, so that would be particular black. That black man is trash.
Yeah, of course.
Not black men.
Right. And oftentimes, the one has to fall on the sword of the many, if that makes any sense. Like, so one person who, like, the few cases are way louder than the cases that aren't spoken. Well, where black men are protecting their women. There's a lot. See, oftentimes people want to talk about the bad, but people, when good happens and people do what they're supposed to do, no one says anything because we live in a society that don't want to reward people for doing what they're supposed to do.
Well, I'll say this. In my cases, most of the protecting of black women that I've had to do, there are no black women around. Because people say stuff about black women when they're not around. Like you talking about like physically, like fighting and all that stuff, that's a whole different story. And like stuff like that depends on what I have to lose. I just gotta be honest. I got a family to protect first. That's my first line of protection is my family. So protecting you is gonna cause my family harm, then I can't do it. That's just being honest. But you talking about like people talking bad about black women, dehumanizing a black woman. Most times they do that, black women are not in the room because they're not gonna say it to a black woman's face. So that's where most of the protecting that I have to do for black women comes into place is when they're not around. So they'll never even see the protecting that goes on.
So with that being said, all right, so the argument has been made that one of the ways that black men do not protect black women is kind of like what you just said. So, for example, and I hate bringing up this example because I think it's the stupidest thing in the world, but the whole thing with Tory Lanez and Megan Thee Stallion, right? So they say that when things like that happen, that black men are now vocal about condemning other black men in those kind of situations. So what would you say to that?
I guess, I mean, again, I'm just going off social media in my circle. I've seen completely different. Like, all down my timeline, all I've seen was black men just like killing this dude. Like, bruh, like how can you shoot a black woman? You know, and like defending and even going in on other black men defending Tory Lanez. That's all. That's my inner circle. That's my perspective. So that's all I can talk about. That's all I can speak of.
Yo, no, we're not gonna do this. I feel you. I respect you, and I'm not disagreeing. But what we're not gonna do is try to. If a black man has an opinion of his own, he shouldn't be crucified because it's different from somebody else's.
Okay,
okay, so what if a black man don't think Tory Lanez did it? Why should he have to defend somebody he don't believe in? Right? But like Curtis said, the narrative in and of itself is false because there are black men who are defending Meg Thee Stallion. Matter of fact, if you know the issue, Tory Lanez had an issue with Bun B, who is a major black man, but y'all ain't got nothing to say about that. So I think we pick and choose when we want to attack the black man because the level of standard from the perspective of society is way higher for a black man than any other man.
But
we're not going to pretend like white men don't do the same thing. White men do the exact same thing. So the issue ain't about black and white; it's about good versus evil.
Look, let me put Jim on the spot one time because we were off air. He made a very good point about G. Talk to us about what you were saying when you were talking about how it's not necessarily just the person itself, but what women look to and what they remember when you was talking about. Yeah. Talk to us.
So, all right. So this whole black men not supporting black women ideology, So what happened was I was giving an example of this rapper I listened to, Wale. A lot of people probably heard of him or whatever. But he did a song. Wale did the song Black Girl Magic. And he was doing an interview and he was talking about, they was like, oh, that's so dope that you did this song for black women. And he was like, always, I always support black women. Always. And he made a great point, and it really kind of made me think about this because Wale was saying how, if another artist, another big name artist was to release that same song, black women would be all over it.
Right.
And it really made me think about how sometimes if black women, certain black women, not all black women, because I don't believe that all black women have this same mindset, but I do think that if certain people aren't getting a certain level of attention from a certain person, they try to put this whole blanket over all the people that's really affecting them. So like, and like I said, not all women are like this, but they will label, oh, well, black men don't do this, da 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 da. Once upon a time when they thought this, I'm not gonna say people, names, but when they thought that this particular person, this particular black actor only liked white women, oh, well, they never stand up, blah, blah, blah. But then you got other people who are standing up and protecting and putting black women and lifting black women up.
And it's crickets.
And crickets. I use an example like Denzel Washington, who won't kiss a white woman on film, won't even play a role where he's married to a white woman. And we didn't really hear this in the 90s, did we? Remember when Denzel was that dude, when, Pam from Martin be like, oh, Denzel. You know what I'm saying? When Denzel was that dude, you didn't hear this whole black men don't protect black women ordeal. But when Denzel wasn't the top guy anymore, he wasn't the most sought after guy anymore, that top guy who black women seek after isn't taking that same stance as Denzel now is, black men don't protect black women.
But
like I said,
plenty of other black men who are not out.
Right, if they're not getting it, I think that the narrative comes from a person who's not getting it from where they want to get it from.
Right.
They overlook all the other people who doing it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Like even going back to like how black women can see when black men get rich, they run to white women or women who are not black. But I was looking at all the athletes and I just kept on seeing Russell Westbrook, LeBron James, Dwayne Wade, Chris Bosh. It's just like, and the list goes on of all these black, and that's just athletes. You going to rappers, Snoop Dogg, LL Cool J, Ice Cube. Like it's just like even just like regular men who are not famous, but you just talking about people in the spotlight. There's so many men who get to a high level and they still marry black women. So
all right. You in the pool now, Smooth.
What up?
What about when you was explaining when it's the other way around? When okay, I wasn't gonna say no names, but like when black women when black women make statements such as, "Oh, white men treat me better than black men."
Yeah.
Why isn't anything said? You know what I'm saying?
It was like I've heard statements where black women come out and blankly say that white men treat them better than black men.
Because getting a white man is the prize.
And it's crickets. But if a black man came out and said that,
right, a black man came out and
said, yo, white women treat me better than black women.
Don't get it twisted. I am married to a beautiful
all of us
are.
All of us are. All of us. All right, so can I give us a really quick history lesson? Yeah. I believe as black men, we are continually breaking the chains. Let me tell you what I mean by that. You go back to slavery times, being trained as slaves, black men who were slaves to be lesser than, and for the black woman to look at their slave master, which was typically white man, as the head of their own households, even while they were staying out in the fields. So that's that part, breaking the chains, being trained in slavery. Let's move on to Reconstruction. Tell me that many hundreds of black men wasn't hanged for protecting their families, protecting their black women, their children. Okay, let's move from there. Let's go to the 70s now, and the Black Panther movement. How much of them men were providing for their families and protecting their families? And guess what came? COINTELPRO and an agenda to break down that cycle that we were trying to break. And then let's move into today's time. We could go into the rap industry. There are plenty of great industry guys that are looking to put out some good, wholesome music, but guess what they're being told by producers? Nah, call the black woman this, call the black woman that. And so I think throughout time, we are consistently needing to break the chains of racism that causes us to
to the divide that's being put in our families, where we have to break those chains and continue to do what we have to do for our people.
And it's systemic. That's the whole thing. It is systemic. And
Right.
I completely sympathize with the fact that black women do not feel protected.
Mm-hmm.
But that's different than saying black men are not protecting black women.
Okay.
That is two completely different arguments.
Yeah.
And we understand that black women, I believe that black women are the most unprotected species on earth. I mean, that's just what it is. Even more so than black men. But my question to you, ladies, would be, as black men, what can we do to help you feel more protected? If like Miles just said, if those things which are systemically against us, if those are what you need in order to feel protected, we're fighting that battle. We've been fighting that battle for the longest. So we're trying to overcome those hurdles of racism and systemic, oppression and things to make you feel protected. But that's not the same as saying that we are not protecting you. Those are forces that are outside of our control.
And there's another thing. What I say to my wife when we're having issues is, you're not the enemy.
Indeed.
So when me and my wife are beefing, a lot of times I can see where it's going, and oftentimes we leave it up to social media. We treat each other like we're the enemy, but nah. Just as I came from a black woman, you came from a black man, and when a black family is together, we're very powerful.
Right.
Understand, this is why there's an agenda.
Absolutely.
To break the black home apart. They get us beefing with each other. It's just one group says, "Oh, you're not good," another group says you're not good, while the rest of the world is just watching.
Absolutely.
So,
and on that note, so again, think about this episode, ladies, leave a comment. Let us know what you need from us as black men to help you feel protected. As always, if you have any feedback on topics you want to talk about from Black Man's perspective, put it on the comments. We're gonna see y'all in the next one.
Peace out.